Welcome back, ODHtv, Raising Kanan, Season 5. Since we have a break between Episode 5 and Episode 6 being aired on July 24th, I want to talk about possible ending scenarios for Marvin this season. I believe there's 3 separate scenarios that could possibly happen with Marvin's character this season. It's not like it's a secret, they're pretty obvious which ones they could possibly be. He could either escape Queens and live, he could wind up in prison, or he could be killed. I want to talk about how each one of these things could possibly happen. I want to start off with the most least likely one I think might happen. By the way, stick around to the end and check out the OD Hustle store. Link in the description. So I'm going to give you 3 scenarios with a couple of sub-predictions underneath. And in the comments, let me know what you think is more plausible. We'll start off with the one that I believe has the lowest percentage of happening. And that's Marvin leaving Queens and going to DC. So at some point, Jukebox goes to DC, becomes a police officer, and changes her last name to Ganner. We really don't know exactly why, but this is not the Jukebox video, this is the Marvin video. So the question that we're going to ask about her and why she went to DC is, did Marvin have something to do with it? As far as Marvin Thomas, if you want to check out the Jukebox videos, I'll leave links in the descriptions. So as we can see, Marvin is changing again. His first change was that whole anger management thing, learning to control his temper. Now he's changing into more of a man that still wants to be a gangster, but wants peace in his life.
That doesn't make sense.
But that's the complexity of his character. And now that he's been using this pastor as a sounding board, because he's really not taking his advice. Even when the pastor says something, he rebuts it. Like when the pastor said to him, anyone can get forgiveness. And Marvin said, I don't need forgiveness. I need my brother. So he's really trying to just talk and vent and get everything off of his chest. I think he really wants to figure it out for himself. But these talks are definitely changing something inside of him, as you can see with the different monologues that he's having, especially with his sister. Now we have that mixed with the conversation that he had with Jukebox. Just on a side note, I like the way they use the dark, warm colors whenever we're at Marvin's house, because I think to him that's the only place that really feels like home, where him and Jukebox are. But this is what Jukebox said to him.
I feel the same way. And I've been thinking about it a lot. And let's get the hell out of this outside. Just go somewhere where all this ill shit ain't happening.
Ill shit happen anywhere, Juke.
Later on in this scene, he tells Jukebox that he loves her. He hasn't told anyone that he loves them in this series. So her request to leave could hold some weight. Now he's still loyal to his sister Raquel to a fault. So again, with his new mindset, and then what happened in Episode 5, and I'm not talking about the beatdown of Kanan.
And this nigga is a soldier.
Rock just killed a kid.
Yo, what the
We've never seen Marvin react like this. So after Marvin watches Raquel become that unhinged and try to convince him that this little kid is a soldier and he needs to be taken out, could have him rethinking what Jukebox said to him. And he could just pick up and leave with her. It would be easy to leave everything behind if you remember in Season 4 when he went to take out Quan.
I give you the combination. You let me live.
Quan gave him the combination and he left with a handful of diamonds. So it is possible that he could just leave everything behind, grab up Jukebox and head out to DC and live the rest of his life out there.
I'm telling you, man, Mitch, look at me. DC.
So I really can't call it. I don't think this scenario will happen, but there's enough evidence for the possibility. Now these last 2 scenarios I believe have an equal chance of happening. So let's start with Marvin going to prison. This one isn't as easy as it once was because the feds aren't looking at Marvin. They want organized crime. High-level, white organized crime. If this was Seasons 2 or 3 when the investigations were fresh and they were looking into Marvin Thomas, I would say absolutely, especially since Rock's former attorney Andre said that the feds have seen Marvin associating with Stefano. However, if Marvin goes to prison, I think it's going to be because of Amber. In Season 4, Marvin had a friend named Gerald. Gerald was a junkie. Gerald had 2 daughters. One of his daughters drowned in the tub while he was high. So his only surviving daughter, Amber, went into the foster system. Now, I know a lot of you know all this stuff already, but some people haven't caught up yet. I still have people in my comments telling me that they think it was Kanan that killed Famous. And I'm not making fun of them, but they still watch these videos, so I like to catch everybody up. So Amber got placed with a weird foster family that didn't even let her go to school and kept her locked in a room with a little baby. And what happened to that little baby? Never saw that kid again. But anyway, the foster parents attacked Marvin and he was forced to take them both out. I mean, really only one of them attacked. You know, she kind of got blasted in her back trying to get away. But, however, Marvin told Amber and the baby to tell them it was a white boy with tattoos that came in here and did all this. And now there's an investigation and the detectives aren't buying the little girl's story about the white guy with the tattoos. And since the social worker threatened the little girl that she was going to have to leave her new nice family if she didn't tell the truth, she might spill the beans. And then we had this scene where Marvin took Amber out for ice cream, and some people were saying that she might be wearing a wire. I don't believe that, but I do find it weird that Marvin was able to get her out for ice cream. What upscale white family in the 90s is going to give their little girl to somebody that looks like Marvin to go out for ice cream? So a wire could be possible. But Marvin tells her to stick to the story and we'll be fine, and she agrees, but she might not be able to hold that water, which may land Marvin in jail for the rest of his life. When I say the rest of his life, I mean the rest of his short life, because I can see him being put in jail and then maybe Kanan pay somebody off to take out Marvin while he's in the child line. Power Universe is known for taking people out in jail, so you never know. Now, of course, the last scenario is Marvin losing his life. And there's so many reasons that this could happen. I'll just name a couple of the most important ones. Now, even though I believe this part of the storyline is over, Stefano could still be mad at what happened with Early Tyler.
Guy wants an audience with you.
Yeah, all right. I need to talk to you about Marvin Thomas.
Now, I think this was just a plot point to get rid of Early Tyler. Right now, Raquel Thomas is the only thing on Stefano's mind. So there could be a chance that Stefano goes at Raquel and gets Marvin by mistake, but I don't see them doing that twice in the same season. They already did that with Lou. There's also a scene where it appears that Marvin is having a shootout with Breeze. This clip appears to show Breeze shooting at Marvin, and he's got an automatic weapon. So I don't know if this scene takes Marvin out, but we will see. And of course we have what happened at the end of episode 5. This was sad and hilarious at the same time. Look at it carefully.
I have to get at you later, Juke.
Kanan! Snoop! You're no good! The channel daddy pushing you always!
What broke him down? Was it just the
body punches? When I was hitting him with body punches, I heard him, actually he was crying in there, making woman gestures like, I can't.
He was crying when you hit him?
Yes.
That's still hilarious to me. But with that, we still have the narration from OG Kanan that says you never forget a whooping like that. It makes you stronger, it makes you meaner, and then you get even. So that, and then you get even part sounds more like he may actually be looking to take Marvin out. Now, in the official season trailer for season 5, OG Kanan says, if you didn't hate me before, you're gonna hate me now. And I don't think in that part he was talking about Lou, because that was sort of an accident. I think it's something bigger. Which brings me to this part of the official trailer. So once I saw Marvin in the church talking to the pastor, it reminded me of this part of the trailer. And I started thinking that, you know what? This is where Marvin's going to get taken out. This is where Kanan's going to do it. But looking at it, two things could happen here. Either he took out Marvin or he took out somebody else that he thought was Marvin. Because when you look at it, he looks disappointed when he leaves. Look at it again. Maybe he took out the pastor. I'll show it to you normal speed, then I'll slow it down. So they could be trying to throw us off with that, but one thing I will say is he's not mentioned anymore in any of the episode descriptions. In fact, episode 7 only mentions Rock struggling to maintain control as alliances crumble. So if you're like me, I know you want to see Marvin alive and kicking at the end of this series. So let me know in the comments which one of these scenarios you think would be more credible.